Hi, I'm Lori Brown. Pondercast is powered by our listeners, and that is such a great feeling for Ty, Joshua, and myself. We are an independent podcast, and that means that we rely completely on your monthly support that you can give to Pondercast through Patreon. We are in our third season now, and we are growing, and it's all because of you. Becoming a Patreon member has its own special rewards. You get our Ponder playlists, which are curated music that we love, delivered to you twice a month, so you can get a fix of new music, and regular guided meditations. We call them groundings, as well as free merch at different pledge levels and special behind-the-scenes stuff as well. What else can I say to encourage you to become a Patreon member? Except to go to patreon.com/pondercast. And now, let's Pondercast. I'm taking you to Jenn Grant's house in Nova Scotia. It's in the woods on Lake Echo, and it's quiet, and we are trying to be quiet because her baby Gus is upstairs asleep, and we have a small window of opportunity for an interview. Jenn Grant is an exceptional artist with 7 albums so far, and the latest, called Love Inevitable, came out in May and was written right here in her living room using a Roland keyboard, an acoustic guitar, and a banjo, as well as her amazing voice. Whether performing live or on a recording, Jenn's voice has special powers. Jenn and I talked about that and about 3 tracks from Love Inevitable that she has gifted for us for this episode. Welcome to Pondercast, Jenn.
Thank you for having me.
You've had an incredibly busy year since this latest album came out in May.
Yes.
And I think it's kind of a nice time to sit down and talk.
Yeah, it's a good time.
If you were to introduce yourself to people who had never met you or knew anything about you, and you were just saying, okay, my life story so far is this.
I guess I would say I'm originally from Prince Edward Island, and I live in Nova Scotia now with my husband, Daniel Ledwell. He's a music producer. We live in Lake Echo, and we have 2 dogs and a baby, and we both make records and music and tour for a living. Something like that.
That does it.
Okay.
That does it.
Okay.
And whenever you tell somebody that you have a new baby,
yes.
I think that says a ton about what's going on in your life.
Yeah.
What does it feel like to be creative in the middle of a period in your life where you really, the ground is shifting under your feet? What's it like to be creative in the middle of that?
I guess it's probably something to sort of anchor myself to, and I love the thing I love about songwriting is the sort of mysticalness that surrounds it. You don't really know what you're going to get when you try to write music. You're kind of just trying to open yourself up to the possibilities that the universe is presenting. Because while I was writing this record, for some of the songs I knew I was pregnant, I think, or most of them I was waiting to find out if I was pregnant. So it was kind of like, I was just opening up every channel I felt like I could, because with songwriting, it's something about opening a channel. But with, with pregnancy, there's an alignment there. All I really remember is just being so tired. I was writing, and I was writing over there on the couch, and I would just wake up on the couch sometimes. I don't know how I woke. Where was I? I don't remember falling asleep, but I just wake up and then I get like one song that day, I guess. And so there wasn't a lot of days where there was two songs. I just had to get extra to get the one. And then there was times when I wouldn't be able to write because there was a few, like I had a bit of a complicated pregnancy. So once I found out I was pregnant, there was a few like little scares that happened. At the beginning, I thought I was having a miscarriage when I was on stage opening for Stars and Moncton and all this stuff. And so that was really stressful. And there was times where I couldn't write. You know, I just felt like I have nothing to give right now. I just have to literally just like lay here and just wait. So there was dips, you know, there was peaks and valleys through the process, but it really took everything out of me. I feel like there was a connection to my son while I was writing, you know, and that our beginning of our bonding experience like lives in the lyrics.
Do you feel that the music itself, is there a different flavor, a different tone to it because of all of that?
I think so. In particular, there was 3 songs I was writing when I knew I was pregnant, but I didn't know yet. Magic and Mistakes, Keep a Light On, and Favorite Daughter. There was a psychic who told me that I was having a girl, so I started channeling this girl I was gonna name her Willa Faustina. Anyway, maybe I'll have one later. But
the music feels different to you?
Oh yeah, I mean it feels. I mean for me, music that I create or make with people is reflective of a certain time of my life, and so when I think of those songs, I think of the recording process that was really special, but I also think of that time of writing and just the time of unknowing and just trying to build some sort of sense of trust or something.
Well, I want to hear you tell me a little bit about one of those songs you were talking about, and that's Magic and Mistakes. Tell me a little bit about that song.
Yeah, it reminds me of my mother, that song. There's a lyric about, don't wrap me in gold, you won't get your money's worth. When she passed away, she wanted to be, she was cremated, but she wanted, when, you know, they still put you in a casket and stuff. And she wanted to be in this Jim Cuddy dress that she had. It was this dress that she had on at the Junos with me in 2011. And she met Jim Cuddy and she loved Jim Cuddy. And it was just like this great moment where because she was already sick, but I felt like I could see the spark in her eyes, you know, in this moment with Jim Cuddy.
And it became the Jim Cuddy dress?
It became the Jim Cuddy dress, and she was like, I want to be buried in my Jim Cuddy dress. And I was like, okay, great. But then this weird thing happened. This is all like super personal and everything, but I just, whatever. We were at this funeral home, and they did a thing where they, there was some fluid and stuff with her cancer that there was something that got on the dress, after she had passed away. And so what they did, because they didn't think that they should leave that, was they cut the dress and they just left this kind of dicky, you know, like a neck thing, and then covered it with something. And I was so upset when I saw that they cut the dress, because we wouldn't have cared about this small little thing, a stain. I was upset, and anyway, I just kind of got rid of the people, because there's this thing about presenting a person when they're dead. And I was like, why are you trying to make it look like she's wearing a dress when she's not wearing this dress anymore? It's cut. So I took it off, and then I had this butterfly scarf, and I got when I was traveling in Italy, and I wrapped her in that, and you know, and that's how she went. And I thought that was really beautiful. And also, you know, she was also they were trying to sell us a casket. And I know this, for some people, that's a special thing. But for us, I was like, this is ridiculous. Like, what is this? So, you know, to be cremated, I chose the cheapest pine box that they sold for $300. And Danny was like, I could have made this for cheaper. And it's just, in our family, it's just like, you would never be put in like a, you know, several $1,000 box that you are then either burying or burning. Like, it just doesn't make sense to me, the presentation of it, I guess. But I understand that for some people that would be like an honor thing, but for me and for my mother, it would be more like becoming part of the universe, part of the earth, or part of whatever. So that song has to do with that as well. But often when I'm writing, like, I don't think of those things. I don't think about the meaning of songs while I'm writing them. They just come out. And I was talking with Tucker Martine, who produced this record, and he's the one that told me that I was writing about that. So I was like, oh, Tucker, I didn't even realize that, but that's what that is.
When I'm old, let me go like a bird. Don't wrap me in gold, you won't get your money's worth. I will be gone just past the rising sun. When I am gone, you'll still be my love. I've got something hiding behind the shapes in my life. There's been magic and mistakes. Let me go. Let me go. When you are old, I'll carry you like a bird. I'll whisper to you everything and its worth. You'll be the sun, and I'll be your shadow. When we are gone, there'll be an echo. I've got something hiding behind the shade in my life. There's been magic and mistakes. Let me go. Let me go. I've got something hiding behind the shapes in my life. There's been magic and mistakes. Let me go. 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 Let me go.
For me, your music, it has a feeling and a tone that I relate to mostly. That's what comes across, not a meaning, but it's a feeling or a place. And I don't know if you write this way or if you're in the studio and think about this, but for me, it's your voice at the center of everything. That I feel that's what I'm hanging on to when I listen to your music, is the sound of your voice and all the feeling and emotion and this world that you create is all inside your voice, and everything else is there to support it.
That's cool.
Do you feel like your voice is at the center of things?
Yes, I do. Yeah, I feel like that's my way of expression. That's my way of healing, like trying to give healing. That's my thing. And when I sing to an audience, I look at, I really try to look at them and kind of capture them as one being and like lend something to them with singing. And that's just my thing that I do.
Do you think you've changed and found a way to sing and change the way that you sing to try and get that feeling that you want to give to people in your voice?
I think that it's about being comfortable with yourself and being able to be grounded and then being able to let go at the same time as that.
Which is a really difficult thing to do. Letting go.
It's fun. It's very fun.
And letting go on stage, I would think would be even more difficult.
I don't know. Once you get used to it, you're just like an old hat.
It feels like a little bit like working without a net to me.
Yeah.
To be the ability of someone to go out on stage and for you to connect with people in quite an intimate way, and yet it not feeling like this is rehearsed or anything else. It's just letting the moment be what it's going to be.
Yeah.
What does that give to you?
Oh, it makes me feel great. That's why I do it, I think. It feels, there's so many logistics. We just got back from the UK and we did this tour that started in Ontario and went to New Brunswick and then went to Ireland and Scotland and England. And there's a lot of logistics and there's a lot of stuff every day that you're trying to just kind of get through these things like driving and trying to, and then you would add a baby and trying to be the best parent you can be and blah, 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 blah. But you get to this moment on stage, and often, I'll be honest, like we were playing in London, and it was our last show, and I hadn't been out in the audience or in the room yet or anything. I was just in the green room, and Danny had been out there. So I guess he was kind of excited because there was people buzzing kind of. But he said, "Are you excited?" And I said, "I don't know." I was like, "I don't know." And then I was just like, "I hope it's good." It's just like this weird, almost like a flat feeling sometimes before I go on stage. Or sometimes it's not that, but often it's like, I'll just be like checking in with myself. Like, what do I feel right now before I go on stage? And a lot of times I'll be like, I don't know if I'm feeling much. And then I get out there and as soon as I see them, as soon as I have them, it's just a completely different experience. It's like it's a sacred experience of sharing something with a group of people and a communication that happens and where I feel like we all kind of leave the room together and experience something special. And I feel like over the years, because of that, I've garnered this audience that is very just really, really special to me.
And that sound in your voice and that feeling that I think that you're communicating to me when I listen is that there is I feel a lot of comfort from hearing your voice.
That's great. My mother was a really comforting person. And I think I learned that from her. And she told me once that this man told her that he was in love with her. And he said it was because of her speaking voice. And I was like, that's really interesting.
Well, it's what you've got, right? It's particularly as a singer and as a recording artist, that's the thing you've got.
Yeah.
That's your tool.
Yeah.
That feeling of comfort really comes out in that song, Keep a Light On. What for you is that song about?
Well, I've said a couple things about this song. And they were that there's a picture in my mind that comes in where there was for 9 years, my family and I, my mother and my brother and I, we rented a house on Jubilee Road in Halifax, little mint green salt box house. She used to leave the light on the porch all the time for me because I was always late coming home, just like out all the time. And so it's that sense, I guess, of coming home and being safe. And then also the keeping a light on in your heart is basically what I was doing, always waiting to have a child. It took me such a long time to become a mother. And so I never gave up the hope that I would be able to have a child. And it's very, very cute. So it's about that. And also when we were recording that in Portland, it was the first song that we recorded. It solidified us as a group. There was just 4 of us. And I just remember like sitting around, myself, Tucker, Eli, and Justin is who made that record. And sitting around and listening to that song. And I just felt like, I don't know, there was just something so comfortable about the recording and the way it kind of established us. And it just, to me, just sounded, I heard it. I was at Valley Village a little while ago in the parking lot dropping off some stuff. And it came on the radio and I was like, I really felt like it was sounding pretty good. Like I felt like it really chilled me out to listen to it. Like I don't listen to my own music and I hear myself on the radio and sometimes I'm like, cool, whatever. And then I heard that and I was like, there's something, I felt like there was some sort of Zen transcendent thing that was happening with the song through the radio. And I was like, this is great. I was digging it.
I felt it the first time I heard the song too.
That's good.
Okay, so let's hear it. Keep a light on.
I keep a light on for my baby almost every night. Keep a light on. Don't want a crazy fight. Keep a light on. Even if it's just the moon shining bright. I keep a light on. Everything's gonna be alright. Ocean waters, don't let these go by. Planting clover, I make my wishes at night. Light on, even if it's just the sun in your eyes. I keep a light on. Everything's gonna be alright.
just hearing a baby now.
Oh my God. We'll just pretend he needs to go back to bed. That's not long enough.
Do you want to get him? I've got
don't
like
know.
one more question.
Just
so
no. Let's
just
leave
go
him.
for it? Okay.
I'm supposed to leave him for a few minutes.
Okay. The last song that I wanted to be able to play for Ponder Castronauts was Lay Me Down. And it's the last track on the record. And I've always felt like, maybe it was because I was doing late night radio, and I always felt that it was last tracks that for me always gave me the best music. Because I would look, and I don't know what it goes on in an artist's mind when they say, okay, this is obviously the last track on the album. And sometimes I've heard people say, oh, that'll never get played on the radio or something like that. But there's something very special about that last track. Can you talk about it?
That was a song where I don't really play banjo, but I thought, I'm going to try to play banjo. Laura Veers plays the banjo on the recording. That's, she's the artist from Portland, and, she's amazing. And with that song and with Keep a Light On, I had this thing where I thought, let me just try to write a simple song. And that was my approach for writing both of those. And I never really thought about that. I never really tried to do that before. I think I might try that again because I really like both of those. That song is just this sort of simple love song. And to me, that song does kind of feel like it is old. But yeah, Laura Veers sings on that as well.
Yeah, it's a beautiful song.
And sometimes I end a show with that song now too, because it's the same way. It's like you want to end with a certain feeling.
Well, that's a perfect way to end. Thank you so much, Jenn.
Thank you. My pleasure.
Lay me down to the place where I was found, deep down in the grass, on the hill of my true love's path. Send the nightingale if my body is too frail, and the sweet scent of you on my lover's perfume. In all the ways you come to me, babe, I'd marry you. You took my heart and it wouldn't start. You danced with me. Lay me down to the place where I was found, deep beyond the woods where my love is sleeping sound.
Jenn Grant. Thanks for sharing your music with us, Jenn, and your thoughts, and your living room, and your tea, and for the great hugs I got from Gus. If everyone got to hold a baby every day, I think the world would be a different place. Thanks for listening. Go to pondercast.ca for merch and info and past episodes and a newsletter and a way to send me a note. Have a great night and have a great day.